What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the CaseyRyan Reacts Podcast, where I get to react and unpack new music with the artist. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Come on in. We get nice and comfy in here. My name's CaseyRyan. I am a singer, songwriter, and content creator, sharing my love for all things music. And if you're returning, welcome back. Always so good to see you. Now, for today's episode, I am so excited to be joined by an artist whose music is as bold as it is heartfelt. They are a singer, songwriter, philanthropist, who knows how to blend storytelling, emotions, and atmosphere into unforgettable songs. With over 350,000 streams on Spotify alone, they've given us playful hits such as My Life is Donuts, powerful anthems like Pride Song, and my personal favorite, The Journey. And now they're back with their newest single, Into the Night, a track that marks the next step in their musical evolution and promises to pull us into a whole new sonic world. Please join me in welcoming a true original voice in music, my friend, Justin Renaissance. Justin, welcome.
Thank you so much, Casey. I really am honored to just be a part of this and be a part of your show.
Well, so happy to have you, and what an honor to have you as my very first guest. So how does it feel now that Into the Night is finally out?
I actually feel a lot of relief from this release because of the fact that this was such an emotional song for me. And the story of how this song came to be was something that, while I would like to believe it's unique in my mind, it's probably not as unique in some of the other artists' minds. I know other artists that wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and write tons of songs. So for me, it was definitely unique because it was written in the wee hours of the night.
Okay, yeah, and I'm glad that you're diving right into it. That's exactly where I wanted to start before we jump in and listen to the song together and break it down kind of section by section. So the song started out as a personal experience. That was going to be my first question, if it was something true to you, if this was just a story that came up or a vibe. So I guess what kind of came first for you in this song? Did the melody come first, or was it really the lyrics?
It kind of was a combo of both. 2 o'clock in the morning, your brain does incredible things. And me, as I was laying there next to my ex-partner, and just thinking in 2 hours that this person was leaving me. And
oh, wow.
I didn't know how long or if they were coming back. The only thing that I could think of was the chorus, which was, tell me how this isn't goodbye.
Okay, so this is definitely a deep song for you. So did the song come through a lot of different drafts, or did this all come together really quickly for you after that?
At this time, I was writing songs for a compilation album that I was going to call Your Story. And it was based on the stories of other people, 10 different people from different walks of life. And my partner, who was with me at the time, said, why don't you write a song about me? And it just so happened that this experience ended up being the song about them.
Well, I'm really excited. I've been waiting to listen to this song of yours. So if you're ready, let's just dive right in. And Justin, I don't know if you've seen, but we like to get nice and comfy in here. So I hope you're in a comfy chair, someplace to get your feet up, and we always have a Snuggie or a blanket.
Got my blanket, got my comfy chair. You may get a few tears from me, so I'm just preparing you for that.
Emotions don't scare us. All right, well, here we go, everybody. Let's listen to this. This is going to be my first live reaction and breakdown of Justin Renaissance's new song, Into the Night. Here we go.
Sometimes things just don't go as we planned. Nothing much left to say, 'cause you're wanting to fly far away.
Oh.
You were the one, and the changes still come. Tell me
Okay, I gotta pause right there, Justin. Before we get into that awesome chorus, that hit really hard. That beat drop. Wow. So yeah, just initial reactions to this beginning. I love the ethereal vibe. This is very different than what I've heard from you so far. What was kind of your writing process with finding the musicality of this? What inspired you to go with this type of sound, because it's so drastically different from those fun upbeat pop songs of like Pride Song and The Journey that you just most recently released?
I was working with Taylor Carroll during this time, and he and I were producing the whole album, Your Story. And when we got to this song, he goes, "Dude, you sound like John Bon Jovi." I was like, that's part of my grassroots. So let's lead into that a little bit more, which is why we brought in some more piano, the Dave Bryant style, and the electric guitar, the Richie Sambora. I mean, this song definitely went into that, alternative hard rock ballad that Bon Jovi is so well known for.
Yeah, I definitely hear that reference completely. The Bon Jovi, a lot of the classic 80s power anthems, those love ballads that we all love growing up. I definitely hear those influences. So is that exactly where you're wanting your listeners to kind of immediately be transported to? Is that kind of nostalgic feel that all of us can relate to?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the lyrics. I've got them pulled up as we're listening to this. It starts out with, "Baby, I don't understand. Sometimes things just don't go as we planned. Nothing much left to say, 'cause you're wanting to fly far away." Those are deep lyrics. So bring us back to where you were in that headspace. You said this came when you were laying in bed?
Yeah. The night prior to this, my ex had basically lost his job. I guess just went through this moment of lack of identity and wanted to start over. That included possibly even leaving me when I had put so much time, effort. I took the journey, no pun intended, from my life in Los Angeles to San Diego for him, left all of my friends, and was now in a wonderful city that was warm and inviting, but I was still getting my bearings and was still figuring myself out and what I wanted from life other than music and my day job. And to kind of be left at this moment where the person I was in love with and thought it was my forever person was about to leave at a moment's notice.
Wow. I'm so sorry that you went through that. That's really challenging, but the inspiration coming through, I'm getting that. I'm feeling the pain, the way your vocal delivery of this initial line, and then we got a little sneak into what the chorus is going to sound like, and it sounds like this is going to be kind of where you're reclaiming some of your power a little bit, or are we okay?
Yes.
Let's dive right back into it.
You know me very, very well. I do not stay sad for long.
Yeah.
It's really important. This is important for your listeners as well.
Yeah.
Look, we all are going to go through things. We're maybe going through them even right now, where our emotions just take over. We have to allow them to be present. If we shove them under the rug, we are only prolonging the pain that we are going to feel. We can't start to heal until we allow those emotions to surface.
Yeah. So true. So true. And you're absolutely right. That's one of my favorite things about you, Justin, is your positivity. When we got to meet, we luckily got to meet in this year at in LA at Pop Out, LA's queer music conference. And it was just a blast. You were so warm and welcoming. That was my second year going. I'm naturally a very shy person, unless I'm like in my element talking about music or things like that. But you just have this warm, inviting aura about yourself, and so I instantly felt really comfortable with you. And I know that's how your listeners react with your music, because you're not afraid to go deep, and you're not afraid to show your emotions and what you're going through, and you're not afraid to empower people to empower themselves, like with Pride Song. Let's go back in. I'm ready for this, because that chorus was hitting. I'm going to go back just a little bit.
Angels still come. Tell me how this isn't goodbye. Oh, tell me why I can't make these tears dry into the night.
That's my favorite part.
Once again.
Okay, so full chorus. It's coming through. I hear the pleading of the why are you leaving? Like how as you said, how can this not be goodbye if you're leaving? The power, the grit that's in your voice, Justin. This is a very fun, different side that I haven't got to hear from you yet.
I remember seeing Lady Gaga on stage at Coachella the first time. Remember, she just began to play Poker Face and stopped, and she just wept because the reality set in that she was in front of hundreds of thousands of people at Coachella. And this song for me is basically that. It's like I am 100% open. My heart's on my sleeve here. I'm wide open saying, "Hey, I'm human. Yes, we
Yeah.
all want to experience love and positivity and hope and courage and unity and all of the things that I stand for as an artist. But we also have that human trait of pain and of the beauty of really emotion."
So when writing this, did you know that this was going to be your chorus? Did this come very quickly, or how did you know that this would be the hook for you?
The chorus, "Tell Me How This Isn't Goodbye," is where we started. And because he was leaving on a plane at 4 o'clock in the morning for Vancouver, I was like, he's basically leaving and going into the night, into the darkness. So I had no idea what was going to happen. So the uncertainty for me is really what left me at a place where I was going into that darkness as well.
How did the chorus evolve? Did you have a few different versions of it, or did you know like this is exactly what I want to say? Here it is.
Yeah. And what was beautiful about that is as we were recording, as I'm singing this into the microphone for the first time, Taylor kind of looked at me and he was like, "Dude, this is big." And he's like, "Wow." And he was even, just like, "Okay, like this is a masterpiece that we're creating."
Yeah, that was my initial reaction. You shared before this single came out a couple clips on your socials, your Instagram. I've been following you for a while now, so I'm very, very excited when I got the little snippet that this was a new song coming out. But that Into the Night, it's just that is the true hook. It's the thing that caught me the first time. Instant goosebumps when it came through again. What I love about the song is that it is relatable, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse. Like this feeling, kind of the initial thoughts that going through my head is like, this could be about your child going off to college. It could be that like this person who is so important to me in whatever stage I'm at in my life is leaving, and I don't have control over that or what the future is going to look like. And so it's universal.
It's really funny you say that too, because a friend of mine who is also in music business went through a very unfortunate moment that some people go through. One of my best friends went through it as well, where their newborn child passes away. So to raise the stakes even more, this song could be for that person as well.
Yeah. I guess before we start into this second part of, or the second verse, in the journey of your song now, where do you envision your listeners being emotionally and mentally by this point? After we've gotten through your intro, your first verse, getting a little bit of the backstory into that powerful chorus, now going into the second verse, what's your hope for us as listeners to be with you in this part of the journey?
This is acceptance.
Okay.
The second verse is about acceptance. It's about the inability to control the circumstances, despite what our wishes are, and coming to a point of acceptance where I think is where we actually get to make the decision to move on.
Okay. Let's listen to it.
I'm all alone. Getting harder for me to hold on. 'Cause we both know you're not gonna stay. It's just gonna happen one day. You were the one, and the changes still come. Tell me.
No, I'm sure you saw my smile. I loved that. Oh, your crescendo at that last note for the "You Were the One" and the change is still to come. I loved that you held out the note. I loved that it put us back in because it brought us back down. We got our verse again. I loved the lyrics of there. Of it just made me smile because I felt empowered myself in my mind. I loved you. You had a little bit of a vocal cry in that second verse. What were you feeling when you were recording this specific session?
So, all of this was done in one day, by the way, with Taylor. We sat down in my bedroom and we recorded a bunch of songs all together, and we did that over a course of a couple of days. By the way, this was like shortly after the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on, but it's like, so this song was written in 2019. Yeah, I can almost even pinpoint the day. I think it was like July 17th,
Wow.
2019. It was just shortly after before my ex's birthday when this whole thing happened. And I remember being there with Taylor, and the second verse was having, this acceptance. Once again, I'm all alone. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you don't have this other person there now. They've already gone. It's now, you're coming to the acceptance of it. And getting hard. It was getting hard for me to just trust that they were going to come back and that things were going to work out. But then the reality kicks in of, it was just going to happen one day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe relationships, any relationship, even if you think it's the right one for you, there's a chance it can't. It also might not work out, and there's nothing that you can do to prevent that. People change, people go through things in life, and that changes their perspective, and they encounter such deep loss and such a punch to the gut. It's hard for them to even stand up for themselves. And as RuPaul says, and I've quoted this a million times, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, yeah, and the changes still come. The
Mm-hmm.
changes still come. No matter what, there's always going to be change. I think that's where we are in this world right now too.
Yeah.
There changes continually coming, and we have to come to acceptance at some point, because if we don't, there is no way for us to take action and move forward.
Yeah, I love that. As you were saying that, this saying popped into my head. I'm sure you've heard it. Some people are here for a moment. Some people are here for a reason. Some people are here for a season. So depending
Yep.
on where you're at, there's always a light, I guess, if you want to go that route of the end. At the end of the tunnel, there what you're going through, whatever this relationship was, whatever job you're in, whatever environment you're in this position for a reason. And it may not be forever, but it may be longer than what we want. And it's just about getting through it and building the character of getting through something challenging, I think is really relatable to everyone.
I also want to just add to that, don't stop showing up.
Yeah.
You get to show up as authentically and as true to you as you can be in every given moment. And every opportunity is an opportunity for you to say yes and have that experience. And if you decide to say no, that's okay too, because whatever decision you make, it's going to bring you to where you need to be.
Yes. And I love that. Every decision you make was hopefully was the right decision for you at that moment, regardless of what the outcome was later on. Hindsight's always 2020. But yes, I'm full believer of that, as whatever decision I've made, especially with music or things like that, if it didn't pan out, I felt it was the right moment or the right decision to go forward. So I love that. Yeah. Make sure you're still acting and coming up and living life. I think that's something that you touched on a little bit today, where we're at in the world and the country, and so many outside forces can bring us down or make us feel small. And just remembering to live that, like, we have this opportunity to spread love, to spread joy, and to find those opportunities to keep doing it is what I'm getting your message. Am I on the right track there?
You are 100% on the right track. I think the only small piece that you're missing is that for your listeners that are listening to this podcast, it's not about politics. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about who's right and who's wrong. It is about empowering yourself with good information,
Yeah.
information that fills your soul. And
Yeah.
that's not going to come from CNN. It's not going to come from Fox News. It's not going to come from social media. It's going to come from other people who are around you that are also going through the same things, and being sensitive to the fact that everybody is going through something. So if somebody cuts you off on the road, who cares? Let them cut you off.
Right.
You know, if that moment of empowerment for them that they won was important, then maybe that made their day better.
Yeah. True.
Maybe they'll think, hey, maybe I didn't need to cut that guy off.
True. True. All right. I'm ready. Let's jump back into this. Fantastic job, Justin. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Oh, there we go. Bringing in that electric guitar.
Tell me how this isn't goodbye. Tell me.
Okay. So I love that guitar. I was getting instant like Queen, I think Brian May stylized a guitar solo. That was epic. Whose idea was the guitar solo?
So, second iteration of the song, when Taylor and I originally produced this, it was great, but I wanted to level up. And when I brought this to my good buddy Steve Ornest, who I've known for 23 years now, 24 years, who's based out of LA, Total Access Recording Studio, he was just like, dude, I got to play this guitar solo. And I was like, if there is anybody who I would want to play this guitar solo, it is you, Steve.
Yeah.
And so Steve really did level up the emotion and the empowerment that's supposed to come through in the song through that solo. Brings everyone on a journey, on a musical journey. Even so, I insisted that he bring it all the way to the end of the song. So you'll see that in a little bit, but kudos, Steve Ornest, and thank you for the amazing job you did on the production of this.
Yeah. Oh, it's instantly iconic. And that's one thing for me personally. I've been missing in a lot of modern pop music is the classic guitar solo or just different instruments that I grew up listening to from having the 60s parents and things like that. That's just, it's such a nostalgic feeling. As soon as it came in, I instantly like lit up. I felt the goosebumps in my chest. My heart fluttered a little bit. It was just, it felt iconic as soon as it came through. So awesome. That was a very, very good decision. And yes, kudos to Steve Ornest. Yeah. So it's coming through the rest of the song. Was that your bridge? Are we going to see a traditional bridge, or was that kind of breakdown when we came back into the Tell Me How This Isn't Goodbye? Was that your bridge?
I don't have a bridge in this song. I would say the bridge is probably the guitar solo, but there is a surprise at the end.
Ooh, okay. Let's jump in. That's what it was, isn't it? Get it, Justin. Oh my God, this is on my playlist. This is going to be my new favorite song. Oh, what a good Good job. Yes, I was totally caught off guard. The way the lyrics go, I was expecting to go back into the end of the night and that third verse coming through. I heard the drums kick in. We got a little bit more of a movement. What were we, like 4 on the floor? A little bit of go, here we are. We're pumping. I'm independent. I'm making this. That was so good. And then your long held note, Justin. That was so good. I can't wait to sing this. I'm going to be singing this all day today and probably for a while. This is so good. This is so good, Justin. I am so proud of you. Wow. How does it feel now that, like, listening to this back? How are you feeling right now?
I am feeling empowered myself. I just really think the song delivered on exactly what I wanted. It started in this kind of dark, emotive place of like loss and suffering, and at the very, very end, it's like watching a caterpillar break out of the cocoon and be this beautiful butterfly. It's really, really, really a message of hope.
Yeah. Wow. I just want to sit with it for a second here.
Same. I'm having a lot of emotion because I feel like we're all going through this right now. And we need to just remember that inside of all this transformation and change and pain comes just this beautiful, colorful, bright, flying moment.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that we got to talk a little bit about like your recording and the production process, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into that just for a moment. What like new vocal techniques or production styles were new to you in this? Because I already mentioned earlier, like it's a very different style of song than I've heard from you before. Did you learn anything new about yourself recording this? How were you challenged with recording?
I was challenged with recording because I had to do it in basically my bedroom, which was my office, when Taylor came over to record the vocals and to kind of go through the song when we initially wrote it. And then when I handed it over to Steve just this past year, I was like, dude, this song has got to level up. And what I didn't realize is the amount of production it would take for us to do that, and bringing in the live drums and bringing in the live bass guitar and, you know, redoing the electric guitar, which I thought was already fantastic, but just to be able to level that up even more. Voice wise, nothing changed other than some EQ, the magic that Steve did as producer in the studio, and none of that changed. It all was pretty solid. But for this, I feel like my big challenge was getting through the release.
Yeah.
Was getting through the emotion, revisiting this just incredibly painful and transformative time in my life. Now being very close friends with my ex, and seeing him thrive in his new relationship and having them both be supportive of the things that I'm doing. It really is this beautiful moment of just satisfaction and arriving at the end. So I think it goes hand in hand with the song.
And then how did you know that this song was ready? At what point you were like, okay, this is everything that I need it to be. I'm ready to release this. I
think that and my ex and I went through a couple of years of not being as close. And I think that when I realized that he had gone through this process and moved on, that's when I was like, okay, now's the right time to release this song. I'm not hurting any feelings. I'm not, poking any sore spots. I'm just revisiting a memory that could be entirely 100% relative to anyone today.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. Even though I have written songs that are kind of like the FU track, as we all kind of have anyway for our own self-empowerment, there's still
Taylor Swift.
Yes, exactly. We all have those, but like deep down, I just like you, I don't want to cause any harm. That's not my goal with my music. My music is for relating or having other people relate, that they can find some sense of commonality with someone else about what they're going through. So I love that you've got a great relationship, it sounds like, with your ex and their partner now. Now that this is out, does Into the Night represent kind of where you want to go creatively now? Do you want to stick with this more rock anthem? No, you're shaking your head. Okay. So What's next?
I am a constant creature of reinvention. If you look at from Once Is Never Enough, where I was just kind of like a baby in the pop rock scene
Mm-hmm.
and kind of, just was showing off some nice florals on my shirt and some kind of really cool, Ralph Lauren pants with some boots for through those singles and releases, and then really going through the discovery of who I was becoming with the journey and with a new hero, and then Life is Donuts and Pride Song. It was like everything was kind of transforming and happening the way that it should.
Mm-hmm.
So from here, Justin levels up. This song is an ending to what I guess I would call the pop rock era of Justin. And moving forward, Justin's gonna get a little naughty.
A little naughty.
Yeah.
That was not quite my next question, but that was going to be okay. So was this a standalone project? Was this going to be more of like a cohesive thing with the same sound? But no, we're going to get a whole new side. We're coming into a whole new era of Justin. When can we expect this era to hit?
It should hit beginning of the year. I'm working on my first track right now with another producer who lives in Germany, and we're still kind of doing spinning the wheels on what we want it to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting a clearer and clearer picture of that every day. So we're not done with production on that yet. I have the second and third song also being worked on. I think I'm going for 3 songs to be released next year, and one of them is gonna be a banger.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Well, hopefully I can have
At
you
least
back.
one.
Hopefully I can have you back and we can unpack that one together, because I've loved your musical journey. I'm so grateful that you and I got the opportunity to meet and connect and share music together and kind of help each other grow through personal times and music and things like that. So thank you so much, Justin. How can people support you right now? Where can we find you? What's the best way that we can all support you?
Check out my Instagram. It is the only medium where I regularly post. I need to focus my time, ensure that I'm putting out what my audience wants, and that's where I have the best representation of my audience right now. So if you want to reach out, I do answer my DMs. Please add me, Justin Renaissance, on Instagram. You can also follow me on Spotify, of course, if you want to hear all of my other songs. Feel free to throw my songs in a playlist. Feel free to, take some of the stuff I've done on Instagram or TikTok and do like a remix of it, and do what you're doing right now, like a reaction video, or, put your own touches to it, or even sing along with me. I'm okay with that.
Nice.
I love it when my fans engage with me. I want the engagement because you're part of this journey with me, and you're a very important part of what keeps me motivated to continue to do more. If you're in San Diego, you can support me by, seeing me perform. I have a couple of performances that are going to be coming up in the new year. I'm still trying to solidify, but regularly I'm here for Pride. Urban Mo's has been very good about having me year after year. Sisters Pizza had me this past year with Matt Harkenreiter, and I would be absolutely overwhelmed to do that again. It was an incredible show. I got an hour set in front of a lot of people. It was very casual environment, free admission. The other part is if you're in San Diego, I am part of the Human Dignity Foundation. I'm their director of fundraising, as if I didn't need one more other thing on my plate.
You're everywhere.
I do a variety show every year called Dignity in Motion. It is a massive fundraiser where we are taking every dollar that we get from that organization and give it back to the LGBTQ nonprofit community and to the HIV collaborative through our grant and scholarship cycles. So that's really important for supporting. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm super approachable. I would love to chat with you. And for all those who are going through tough times, and I know that there are some of them out there, because I've seen it on Instagram and gotten responses on some of the posts that I've done so far, because this is a song with high emotion. Please use the Trevor Project. Please use the 988 line. hotline. If you are struggling in any way, just know you are not alone. There are those of us out there who care, and people will be happy to talk to you.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Justin. Well, thank you so much. This has been an amazing experience. I am so grateful you took the time to chat with me and share your music. Into the Night is available anywhere you can get your music. Make sure that you follow Justin Renaissance and support their music. All the links for Justin will be down in the description below. Make sure you follow. All right, and that's it for episode 1 of CaseyRyan Reacts Podcast. Woohoo, we did it! Remember to be kind to others, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. All right, until the next one. Peace.
Thank you.